What's up, everyone? Ryan Larkin here with the first ever edition of the Daily Fantasy Racing Quick Picks on the Mayo Media Network. Going forward, this is going to be a spot where we can give you some of my favorite Dominator plays, tournament plays, value plays, and my favorite of the week. I'm really excited to get the show going. Hopefully, something we can bring to you each and every week. Quick background on myself, do content for Daily Fantasy Racing over at dailyfanracing.com. We cover NASCAR Cup, Truck, Xfinity, as well as Formula One. So cover pretty much everything in terms of racing DFS, which is wonderful. F1 race tomorrow at Monaco, which will be fantastic to watch. And then we go into the Coke 600 later in the evening. Over there, we do projections, rankings, in-depth driver breakdowns, podcasts, and I do betting tips as well. Having really good success with that currently over there at dailyfanracing.com. This weekend, big race at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, Coke 600, one of the crown jewel events for NASCAR, longest race of the year for the series. And that makes it a tricky one. Definitely a hard race on the drivers and the teams. Bumpy track with this new next-gen car, and tire fall-off seems to be something that might come into play as well, which is really exciting. Not going to be something like Texas where it's just all about straight line speed. It's really going to be about handling and having a good long-run car. So really excited for that, and I expect a good race. We saw in practice and qualifying, there was some incidents, single car spins and guys kind of, losing control of their car. That shapes up for some chaoticness for the race as well, something that'll shake things up and make the race more interesting. So that should be exciting as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my picks for this week. We're going to start with the Dominator of the week. My pick for that is Denny Hamlin. Love the fact that Hamlin's starting first. I feel like he's probably had one of the top 3 cars over the course of the last month. Didn't get the result he should have at Dover when he was the clear best car. Ended up getting into an issue with Cody Ware after he had a tire left loose, which of course we all remember that. So difficult race there, but he had the fastest car. Fast forward to Darlington, started in the back, drove all the way to the front. Looked like he had top 3 speed, but got caught up in that big wreck there as well. So struggled to get the finishes, but the car looks really good. And then he finished 4th over at Kansas a couple weeks ago. I think on the intermediates, the Toyotas have a big advantage, as we saw again with all 4 front starting spots being Toyota cars this week. I think Hamlin's going to be really, really strong. I think he'll get a bunch of laps led in early and then a lot of fast laps over the course of the whole race. But easy pivots is going to be Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch. I think those guys are going to be great plays as well. But Danny Hamlin's the guy I'm really going to focus on from that Dominator standpoint. Heck, you could play all 3 together if you wanted to. With that said, we'll go ahead and drop down to my tournament play of the week, and that's going to be Ross Chastain. There's a lot of Dominator points out there with 400 laps in a 600-mile race. So Dominators are super important. You're probably going to need 2 or 3 of them. But if we get 1 or 2 main Dominators, we're really going to look for that elite stud place differential play. And I think Ross Chastain could be that. He comes in at 9,800 on DraftKings, which is a really solid price. And then when you look at his season, he's been amazing. Top 5 in 7 races so far. On the intermediate tracks, he's got finishes of 3rd, and 7th. And then he had that 30th at Darlington. But he wrecked literally going for the lead. He was an elite car that day. He was going to finish top 3 probably on that race and could have contended for the win as well. He showed incredible speed, tons of fast laps. Laps led, looked really, really good all year long. And he rolls off 22nd in this race. So he's got a good starting position. He can run up to the top 10, score a decent amount with some fast laps, even if he never touches lead. If he does get to the lead, if he reaches that upside that he brings each and every week, he can be an elite play. I expect him to be popular, of course, but for good reason. He's too good. The price is really strong at only 9,600. And I think this play is going to be a home run. I really like Ross Chastain as a tournament play and kind of a pivot off of another, chalky Dominator play. I think a lot of people are going to be on Toyotas and a lot on, Kyle Larson from the back and a lot of other guys. And I think Chastain's a good little pivot off that type of scenario. So I really like Chastain in that aspect. From there, value play of the week, easy one, Brad Keselowski starting 35th. Brad has been top 20 in 7 of the last 9 races, and he's been top 15 in 5 of those. Really solid and consistent. They don't have elite speed over at RFK, but Keselowski's a solid enough driver. The cars are good enough, and I expect him to make his way up through the field. At 6,600, anything in the top 15 is probably optimal. I mean, that's a phenomenal place differential upside for a guy at 6,600. This type of race suits him well as well. His driving style, very good on long runs, very good at taking care of his car. I expect him to be there at the end. He may not drive straight to the front like a Ricky Stenhouse might, but he has that ability at the end of the day. You look up and say, man, Keselowski's 13th. That's what I expect from him. So really like that situation. Definitely a play I want to hammer in. Coke 600 has been a good race for him, and anything with kind of more tire wear involved is a benefit to him and his driving style, and I think that will be a factor for this week. Lastly, my fade of the week, Tyler Reddick at 9,600. Couple of reasons for this. I don't love him as a potential dominator. I don't think he's going to get up there and lead. Starting 8th, he doesn't really have any place differential potential, so it's not like he can move up 15, 20 spots like Ross Chastain can. He's just kind of dependent on getting a bunch of fast laps or potentially leading a chunk of this race. The other side of that is RCR as a whole have struggled with a handling issue or a feel in the steering column that they're not happy with. Austin Dillon was super vocal about it last week. It seems to have followed him this week. And this is also a feeling that they said they had back in the test here at Charlotte back in the winter. So this isn't new, and it seems like it's still there. In that test back in the winter, Reddick spun out on his own 4 times. Really seemed to have a struggle with the car. And of course, he's always going to push the envelope and try to get as much speed as he can. That's his driving style, but that's not good in a 600-mile race if you're having this kind of issue and he's going to overdrive the car. We saw him overdrive it last week at Texas, and he put it in the wall in the All-Star Open. So definitely something to consider with Reddick is the fact that he might just wreck on his own. But then aside from that, I don't know if they have the speed to run top 5 or top 3 and get a bunch of fast laps, which he probably needs. And I just don't love the situation at 9,600. If he was, $1,000 or $1,500 cheaper, yeah, I think it's there. But I just don't feel comfortable in that play. And that's someone I'm going to look to fade this week. That'll do it. Hopefully you guys liked it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Mayo Media Network channel here. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Give us a comment. What are your thoughts? Anyone you would play? Any guys you like more than who I put out there? Definitely give us your thoughts in the comments. And I appreciate you guys joining the show. Make sure to check us out at dailyfanracing.com. We got a good promo going on right now for the first month at $20. The promo code's May20. So you can jump in there, get all of our content for every series for $20 for your first month. So really good deal there. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Larkin8. Love to have you there. Go back and forth. I like commenting with guys, so I want to have as much interaction as possible. So definitely hit me up over there. Appreciate you checking out the video, and we'll hopefully see you next time. Thank you.